Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back.
I just want to take a moment and thank you all. I needed that this morning. It's one of my favorite songs. I just thank you. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unitarian Universalist Church West on this beautiful morning here in Brookfield, Wisconsin. My name is Shawn Calloway. My pronouns are she and her, and I am honored to serve on your Board of Trustees. I want to begin with the acknowledgement that we are on the traditional land of the 7 council fires, Ho-Chunk, Kickapoo, Potawatomi, Menominee, Peoria, and Miami nations. We pay respect to their elders past and present. Here at UUCW, we are committed to becoming an anti-racist faith community dedicated to equity, racial justice, and right relations. It's so good to be together as a loving and evolving community. So we know that some of our gathered community are online, and wherever we are physically, our hearts and our spirits are one. If you're a newcomer and you'd like to connect further, please talk to me. I will be in the community room after the service today. You can also fill out the blue form that you should have received when you came into the sanctuary this morning. And you can also send an email to visitor@uucw.org. Our children in K through 8 will be attending RE after the story time. The nursery is also available for younger children. For anyone that would like to keep their hands busy with quiet activities while listening to the service today, we do have the worship exploration table on the north side of the room. The service is also streamed out to the community room if you would like to listen there as well. We do have coffee and tea after the service today. Again, I will be there and I'm happy to chat with anyone if you have any questions. So we do have a couple of announcements that I want to highlight today. Let's see. It was number 3 in the order of service. There is a postcard writing session today after the service, so we can write to our state senators and representatives. The focus today will be on the funding and actions of ICE. Announcement 9. We have the UCW Pledge event coming up on Saturday, February 28th at 6:30. There will be musical entertainment and lively conversation, and it's always been such a blast each year. It's amazing the talent that we have here at UCW to entertain everyone. And so with that, may this morning's service guide us on the path of truth and love.
Good morning. My name is Reverend Jill Braithwaite. I use she, her pronouns, and I serve this congregation as your minister. It is very good to be with all of you this morning. I invite you now to take a moment to bring yourself into presence here, however is comfortable for you, whether you're here or online. For some of us, that might be taking a breath. Let's feel our connection to all that is, to the earth beneath us, supporting us, and to the ancestors who came before us. And I offer these words as our call to worship this morning. Welcome to this sacred space. Welcome to worship. Welcome to you who are joyful and excited this day. Welcome to you who are weary and in need of rest. Welcome to you who are seeking deeper meaning and purpose in the infinite expanse of life. Today we come with full hearts and open spirits to mend up our tender parts, to nourish our waning spirits, and to give us enough wisdom and energy to embody resilience with every breath. Let us worship together. And now I invite Sean to light our chalice as we speak together our chalice lighting words, which are printed in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Today's first hymn, I'm on My Way, is an African-American spiritual created during the time of slavery. It's also one of the so-called map songs that shared coded direction to safety zones on the Underground Railroad. Many spirituals created during the time of slavery passed along messages about secret meetings, family ties, warning, and escape. This song is believed to be an announcement of an escape attempt and an invitation to join. The enduring beauty of songs like this reflect the creativity, cleverness, and resilience of a people helping one another survive this most horrific of human institutions. And we are grateful. Now let's rise in body and or spirit, and we'll sing hymn number 116, I'm on My Way.
Good morning. While I introduce myself, I'll invite anyone who wants to get a closer look at today's pictures to come on up front here. My name is Dave Cicero, Director of Lifespan Religious Education here at UUCW. Pronouns I use are he and him, and there works too. They are there. So today's story is one of a group wanting something, not able to get it at first. and relying on or counting on some other people to help them out. Or maybe not people. It's called Click, Clack, Moo. Cows That Type. It's written by Doreen Cronin, illustrated by Betsy Lewin. It's published by Little Simon. Farmer Brown has a problem. His cows like to type. All day long he hears click clack moo, click clack moo, clickety clack moo. At first he couldn't believe his ears. Cows that type? Impossible, but all day long, click clack moo, clickety clack moo. And then he couldn't believe his eyes. The note here posted on the barn says, "Dear Farmer Brown," typed in very nice Times New Roman. "Dear Farmer Brown, the barn is very cold at night. We'd like some electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows." Now, it's bad enough that the cows had found the old typewriter in the barn. Now they wanted electric blankets. "No way," said Farmer Brown. "No electric blankets." So the cows went on strike. Clickety clack, moo, they left. Sorry. They left a note on the barn door. "Sorry, we're closed. No milk today." Hey, Dan, should I use the other mic? Okay, thanks. All right. Technical problems alleviated. Okay, "No milk today," cried Farmer Brown. Well, in the background, he heard the cows busy at work. Click, clack, moo. Click, clack, moo. Clickety, clack, moo. And the next day, he got another note. "Dear Farmer Brown, the hens are cold too. They'd like electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows." The cows were growing impatient with the farmer, and they left a new note on the barn door. Closed. No milk, no eggs. "No eggs," cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard them working away. Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo. Cows that type, hens on strike. Who ever heard of such a thing? How can I run a farm with no milk and no eggs? Farmer Brown was furious. So he got out his own typewriter. "Dear cows and hens, there will be no electric blankets. You are cows and hens. I demand milk and eggs. Sincerely, Farmer Brown." Duck was a neutral party. So he brought the ultimatum to the cows. The cows held an emergency meeting. All the animals gathered around the barn to snoop, but none of them could understand moo. All night long, Farmer Brown waited for an answer. Duck knocked on the door early the next morning. He handed Farmer Brown a note. "Dear Farmer Brown, we will exchange our typewriter for electric blankets. Leave them outside the barn door, and we will send Duck over with the typewriter. Sincerely, the cows." Farmer Brown decided, this was a good deal. So he left the blankets next to the barn door and waited for Duck to come with the typewriter. Isn't that great? So the cows got some help. got some other people on their side, and they negotiated a settlement. They got what they wanted. That's great. So the next morning, Farmer Brown got a note. Dear Farmer Brown, the pond is quite boring. We'd like a diving board. Sincerely, the ducks. Click, clack, quack. Clickety, clack, quack, quack, quack. And that is the end of the story. Let's see. Maya has agreed to light our lantern and lead us out. So you could go light the lantern now, Maya. That'd be great. Yep. And those of you going to RE classes can please come forward, and we'll follow Maya out behind the lantern, where we'll all get situated and divided up outside the doors of the sanctuary. While the rest of us please join in the recessional. As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go, as you go.
What a wonderful lesson in how we build resilience communally by acting together in an organized way to ask for things that we need. We enter now a time for sharing of joys and sorrows that touch our individual lives. This is one way we express through ritual the many ways that we care for one another. In a moment, you'll be invited to come to the mic to share aloud or raise your hand, and an usher will bring you a mic. I will light a candle for you, and after each sharing, I invite you all to respond with me, "We hold you in love." If you have something you'd rather not share aloud, you can use the QR code on the order of service. What you share here will not be in the posted video of the service or shared in our e-news. Now please come forward if you'd like to share. To folks attending online this morning, we hold you in love as well. Now let's pause and breathe together and hold all that's been shared, spoken and unspoken, in our hearts. Will you join me now in a spirit of prayer or meditation? The strength of water takes on many, many forms, just as each of you has a unique and necessary strength that you bring to our community and to the work of love. Take a moment now to drop down into the deep wellspring of your own spirit and bathe yourself in the strength that is the groundwater of your person. Are you a roaring waterfall wearing rockaway with sheer force of will? Are you a tiny drop of water in a crevice, breaking it open slowly and steadily? Are you buoyant like a great salt lake, practiced at holding others aloft? Are you tenacious like the mountain stream, finding your way down and around every obstacle you face? Are you still and calm like the pond at daybreak, offering radiant peace by your shores? Are you in touch with hidden depths, pulling from a vast well? Do you soothe like a steam rising from a cup of tea? Do you dissolve away stubborn muck like water left in a pot to soak? Do you soften and smooth the edges like a creeping fog? Do you clear away distraction like a cleansing rain? Do you roll with the ebb and flow like the ocean waves? Settle your mind upon the strength, the power that is yours. Draw that strength into your heart. Draw it up into your soul. As our community gathers together, the many waters present here, know that we need each of your power, each of your resilience, each of your love to make us whole. Blessed be and amen. Now please remain seated and we'll sing together hymn number 18, What Wondrous Love.
Our reading today is a poem by Rosemary Watola Tromer. She begins it with a dedication saying, "For my daughter." I want to give you what I could not give you, a world where there is no hurt or grief, a world where you don't know ravaged and sleepless nights, don't know mornings too quiet or the color of dirt in the cemetery. Because I cannot give you this, I want to give you the certainty that you can live fully in a world where there is hurt and grief, that you can meet what is most painful and at the same time turn toward what is beautiful. I want to give you a love so safe that you grow into yourself certain that there is nothing you can do or not do that could keep me from loving you. I have been loved like this too, and I did not know the enormity of the gift until I longed to give it to you. I want you to take it for granted that love is so vast So unshakable, so true. I want to give you the belief in your resilience, want you to know yourself as a flower that grows more vigorously after it's been cut back.
Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can.
Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, we are strong, shoulder to shoulder, keep moving on. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, make a new plan, stand up again and say, yes, we can. Resilience, make a new plan.
Yes, it's hard to keep going, but it's worse to stand still.
I just can't seem to get myself engaged in anything except my work. I just don't feel great. I said something like this to my friend Lee a few months after the end of a primary relationship. This was back in my mid-30s. I've spoken about this story before here. And my friend Lee said back to me, yeah, it seems like you haven't been very resilient about this change. And then she said very gently, that might be something you could look into getting some help with. These words turned out to be life-saving words for me. I resisted the idea of getting help at first, but not long after that, I followed her advice. I started seeing a therapist and going to Al-Anon meetings, and I joined a UU church. And here we are. All of these things helped me begin building a richer life and an authentic spiritual center, which I had been lacking. I began developing resilience that I hadn't even known was possible. Our dominant culture promotes a view of human resilience as a kind of bouncing back, right? And it's about bouncing back into the shape we were before a disruption, like a rubber band being pulled and then snapping back into what it was before. But a greater truth, I think, is that as the complex, sacred human beings we are, we do not and cannot simply bounce back to the exact same shape. We cannot go back in time to the people we used to be. A parent who loses a child does not bounce back to exactly who they were before. A person who is abducted and separated from their family does not bounce back to the person they were before. I'm sure we all have lots of examples of the ways trauma and other hard things make us unable to bounce back. In his book about lessons from his life as a Navy SEAL, Eric Greitens writes this, quote, "There is no bouncing back. There is only moving through. What happens to us becomes a part of us. Resilient people do not bounce back from hard experiences. They find healthy ways to integrate them into their lives." This is what I was learning about when I was 35. I knew that in order to move forward, I needed to change. I needed the help of others to do that. And this brings me to the first thing I want to share about resilience, the first idea, that resilience is not a solo act. To be sure, each of us deserves to be fully autonomous in our bodies and personhood, and thus fully in charge of our own resilience. And experience tells us that we cultivate stronger and more lasting resilience when we do it with connection and community surrounding us. Scott Taylor, who is the head of the Soul Matters program, puts it this way, quote, "Resilience is about what's inside us, but it's also about what's between us. So look around as much as you look within. Let up on all the grin and bear it talk, and instead grab the hand that is reaching toward you." Sometimes there's a hand reaching your way, and sometimes it's up to us to reach out for a hand, isn't it? Soraya Chemaly is a Bahamian author and activist who promotes a communal view of resilience in her book, The Resilience Myth: New Thinking on Grit, Strength, and Growth After Trauma. Chemaly notes that our ideas about resilience are heavily influenced by our individualistic and consumerist dominant culture, by the systems that promote the idea that each of us is on our own, separate, fundamentally from others. We all learn through headlines, TV and movies, militarism, that individuals suffer, but strength and perseverance prevails. The phrase, "pull yourself up by the bootstraps," comes to mind, right? Our coping is up to us as individuals. This paragraph from Chemaly's book is worth quoting in full, I think. "In spectacular arrogance, our mainstream vision of resilience encourages us to ignore, minimize, and even punish us for the desire of our greatest resilience assets, which are interdependence, collective versatility, and shared care." And she continues, "Instead of revealing our relationships to one another, our environments, and the systems we live in, this vision highlights and glorifies self-sufficiency, limitless positivity, and individual strength against the odds." This is a dominant narrative thread in our culture. And this approach makes us less resilient, not more. This view of resilience ignores the normal reality of human vulnerability. It ignores the oppressive systems that come into play with all of the hard experiences and trauma in our society. Things like patriarchy, white supremacy, ableism, and poverty. All of these things leave so many of us without the resources we need and deserve to thrive. For a great example of a communal approach, we might look to choirs and bands and their practice when they need to hold a long note. Those holding the note practice taking turns, right? Tell me this is, yes. They mindfully stagger when each of them stops and takes a breath so that the sound appears uninterrupted. Everyone gets to breathe, and the sound stays strong and beautiful. Yes, resilience has to do with what's inside of us, but it's even more dependent on what's between us. Internal resources only get us so far. It's empathy, love, and leaning into our interdependence with others that gets us the rest of the way. This approach to resilience is embodied and codified in social safety nets, right? We know that in this particular moment in our country, these are being rapidly dismantled after many decades of having been weakened. Our faith has long called us to create communal resilience by honoring and acting on our core values of love and interdependence. A congregation's caring teams, like our lay pastoral care team and our community connections team, are just one manifestation of this. The second idea about resilience I want to offer is that it is not about checking out, it's about checking in. Put another way, the only way out is through. It's better than standing still, right? Let's go back to that rubber band and the idea of resilience as snapping back to exactly what was. This idea implies that the status quo is enough, simply because it's the status quo, perhaps. But many of us have experienced real harm from being told that we just need to bounce back. Get over it. Life's reality is that we cannot simply bounce back. What happens to us becomes a part of us, and we are changed. A more helpful metaphor than the rubber band comes to us from Seth Anderson Matz. You might recall that Seth was here last fall and preached about trans inclusion, cultivating trans inclusion. Seth has been deeply involved in mutual aid organizing in the Minnesota Resistance. If you happen to follow him on Facebook, you might see that one of his fundraising tools is offering to write a poem for $1 a word for the donation. So if you donate $75 to the mutual aid cause that he's coordinating, he'll write you a 75-word poem. It's a beautiful thing. And of course, that's going to families who have been stuck at home, unable to work, unable to pay their rent, unable to buy food. Seth's metaphor about resilience is that it's like building muscle and building new muscle memory. And we know that the way you build muscle is through 1, repetition, and 2, by letting the muscle be damaged just enough to signal that something needs to change. It signals the need for new resources, and this requires discomfort, right? No pain, no gain, do they say at the gym? And the same is true for building our resilience muscles. We're reminded that we must stretch ourselves and ask for help in order to grow our resilience, just like those muscles gathering new resources. As I said, Seth has been organizing mutual aid on the front lines of the Minnesota Resistance, and he writes this quote: We who live in this time and place have been encumbered with a very heavy weight that will need to be carried for a long time. And many of us are using muscles that we have never used before. So it will take not only the strength of many to carry this weight forward, but the skill and endurance that can only come from integrative practice made up of small, consistent, and repetitive acts of resistance, solidarity, education, and care. Close quote. Seth is saying that to build our resilience requires us to endure the discomfort that signals to us the need for change, to not avoid it. It requires us to stretch ourselves in ways that are uncomfortable sometimes, that require vulnerability, more risk, or simply reaching out across spans of difference that we aren't quite sure yet how to cross. This coming week, I'm going to look for at least one opportunity to build my resilience muscle through an act of care that pushes outside my own comfort zone. I invite you to consider doing the same, and perhaps we can compare notes. When I was first learning about how to grow my resilience, I remember hoping for a quick fix, some sort of checklist. But what I needed then wasn't a rest or a spa day. What I needed was to tell the truth about myself, to ask for help, and to open myself to growth and transformation. What that looked like for me was a patient process of building my capacity, the spaciousness in myself to hold all that life offered, including the hard things. Buddhist teacher Pema Chodron writes about this building of capacity, inner capacity, quote, "The truth is that things don't really get solved. They come together and fall apart. Then they come together again and fall apart again. It's just like that," she says. "The healing comes from letting there be room for all of this to happen. Room for grief, room for relief, for misery, for joy." I have a colleague who reminds me that difficult things or people in my life are best met with gratitude. "How fortunate you are," he says, "to be getting a good workout that helps you cultivate your capacity and clarity." I love that. The natural world is often a great teacher of resilience, right? I recall learning in high school that when a caterpillar undergoes metamorphosis and is struggling to get out of the cocoon, if you cut the cocoon to help it out, the butterfly dies. Turns out that you have to let the butterfly struggle because it is the struggle that forces blood into the butterfly's wings so they can spread them and fly. The same goes for us. The struggles we go through help build strength enough to grow our own wings, which is very much not to say that suffering is redemptive, but rather that it is a truth of life. Water is also a helpful teacher about resilience, as we heard in our meditation. Water continually brings strength in its diversity of forms, its ability to find its way, just as each one of us bring our particular gifts to our communal resilience. Our choir today reminds us of the power of we. Yes, we can, right? We are strong. I'll close this morning with a poem. It's about how the connections we nurture and the growth we undergo make us more resilient. It's again by Rosemary Watola Tromer, and it's called The Layers. Furrowed and runneled and rough, the gnarled bark of this old cottonwood. The dead thickness protects living tissue from cold, from wind, from flames. I, too, am older, but somehow survival shows up for me the opposite. Any shields I would build up as barriers, life keeps peeling them away. What thickens around me now are layers of dynamic compassion, vital, vulnerable, ever-growing. They do not protect against wounds. Instead, they seem to say, "Be with what aches, my dear. Trusting discomfort is the only way." Dear ones, may we stretch into our discomfort in ways that build our capacity and our resilience. May we give strength to and draw strength from this beloved faith and faith community of ours. May it be so, and amen.
Each week, our offerings do more than support this congregation. They ripple outward to the wider community. Through our Split the Plate program, we partner with organizations whose work reflects our shared commitment to compassion, equity, and justice. This month, we're honored to partner with the African American Breastfeeding Network, a Milwaukee organization that supports families during one of life's most important transitions, welcoming a new child. AABN creates safe, empowering spaces for Black parents through community gatherings, mentoring, and culturally rooted education. Their programs help families build confidence, connection, and knowledge during pregnancy and early parenting, reducing isolation and strengthening support networks that can last for generations. At its heart, AABN's work is about community care, ensuring that families are not navigating these early experiences alone, but are surrounded by understanding, shared wisdom, and practical support. So drop something in the offering basket today, or you can go to the UCW's website, Donate tab, and select Split the Plate from the menu provided. You can also text or email your donation using the information found on the screen. And we thank you most sincerely for your support to this important organization. Thank you.
Will you join me now in speaking the words for dedicating our offering, which are found in your order of service? To the work of this community, which is to ground ourselves in love and joy, and to act for inclusion and justice, we dedicate ourselves and these our offerings. Our closing hymn is another map song. It makes use of biblical themes to disguise instructions for escaping from slavery. It's another beautiful expression of African American communal resilience in song. Harriet Tubman used this song as a way to tell people seeking freedom to wade in water in order to throw off trackers. Let's now rise in body and or spirit and sing together hymn number 210, Wade in the Water. May we embrace the richness of the connections between us. May we find there sources of renewal, strength, and resilience. And may we ever ground ourselves in love and justice. May it be so, and amen.